Brother man. Brother man. Back down memory lane. Ooh-wee. You ready? Let's get it.
Welcome to the Fruit of Life podcast. We're here to nourish your minds one conversation at a time. My name is Asaad. I'm here with
Brother Rafi.
Here with your boy Ishmael Muhammad.
Man.
So we got a special treat for you guys today. Boys to men.
Boys.
What does that transition look like?
Oh man, bro. Woo. Talk about a transition, man. From boy to man.
But hold up, before we get into that, bro, let's just give them a little insight of who we are a little bit.
A little bit?
Our process of becoming boys to men.
Oh, we gotta go back that way?
Yeah, man, back from the EP days, brother.
Ain't nothing wrong going back down memory lane a little bit, man.
Oh,
you know.
man, back down memory lane.
Man.
All right, we cool. Oh man, okay. Well, I guess we'll go back to the EP days, man. We was all in school, you know. Well, yeah, a little debrief. We all went to school together. You know, EP was all only the three of us in school, getting our behinds whooped all the time and staying in trouble. You know, a little bit of targeted punishment, I would definitely say. A little bit of targeted punishment, you know.
But it's cool because it made us better.
I 100% agree. I like how you flip that. You know, I would definitely say on a serious note, we were all friends. Our parents are friends. Our parents all know each other and all that. So our upbringing was kind of similar. You know, we've been kind of growing up together from girls and boys, especially me and you. Went to girls and boys prep. We went to that school. You know, I see you passing the hallways all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's good, Ishmael. It's good, brother. You know, so then we went to the EP when we was all in the school together. You know, our three of us, brother. You know,
Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers, man.
How'd that go?
You definitely was on a different level, my brother, but we definitely got to appreciate it. You know, so.
Then after EP, I think we kind of left early. I think Saad graduated.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think we didn't necessarily go our separate ways because we still had GFY. Like we were still
Yeah.
But I think as we did transition into graduating high school, going to college, we did go our separate ways into not really knowing each other as much.
Yeah.
Until we started OTG. I remember that only grade.
I remember that brand. I remember that brand.
So yeah, we started that, man. We had a collective of brothers that we did it together. We did it with.
Yeah.
And that ended up going through a couple trials that allowed that to fall apart.
Yeah.
That's only because of our own behalf, so it's not too much excuse. But yeah, we went through that. We reconnected through that. I know Asaad, y'all was on social doing.
Oh yeah, Twitter Spaces. Yeah, Twitter Spaces.
They called us the dynamic duo.
Boy, they did. Bro, the way we bounce ideas off of each other back and forth, even still to this day.
Yeah.
We still do it now. It's damn near all three of us, bro. We be reading each other's thoughts like we can just look. We all the same. We all the same thought.
And I love it because it's like we were never apart. Like we were always connected.
I
But
agree.
that chemistry is just there. It's in us.
I agree 100%. So definitely from there, yeah, we ain't got to go into the group chats and all
We'll
that
have a
stuff.
separate episode for that.
Yeah, man, we ain't got to go
We've been
into
knowing each other's shit since what?
Way back when.
9, 10.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, yeah.
And the love has never been lost, even through
Facts.
our distance and everything. It's crazy.
Oh man, so we got a big legendary topic at hand, boys to men, man.
Boys to men.
So let's go ahead and start off, man. What are some big lessons we learned, you know, as boys, and now here we are as men?
Man, you know what's crazy, bro? Just to rethink on the right, it got me thinking about vulnerability because I had a friend who mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
That we should definitely, as men, be more vulnerable, right?
100%.
And I think we hold on to certain things. We don't think that we can access outside sources or outside people to help us get through certain situations that we certain problems.
I agree.
You know, we got that mindset of, you know, shit, ain't nobody coming to save us. That which is partly true. But at
Partly.
the same time, no, it is. At the same time, we have built a network, we have built a brotherhood and that people that's out there that really want better for not just us, but for the whole of everybody, to be honest with you. That extended resources for us, you know?
I agree.
So I think just that, man, that not being so closed off and being more vulnerable and being more accepted, being more acceptable of you reaching out and getting help to help you get through certain problems and whatever you're going through in the moment, and not just bottling that in and thinking that you just got to go through it alone.
I agree.
You don't, bro.
So I got a question then. Vulnerability. What do you think the women want from us as men when they want us to be vulnerable?
I think women want us to not act like we always, even though like as a man, you always want the answer. You always are going to strive to get the answer to whatever problem that you're facing.
Solution based.
Yeah, you're gonna thug it out, and you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna sulk in this problem too much longer. Like that's just how we're hardwired to think.
I agree.
And then we're gonna do that, and we're gonna make it practical. We're gonna make it make sense for sure. But as a woman, it's like, I don't want you to feel like you always have to be hard body around me. There's certain times where you can be vulnerable. You can tell me like what it is that you're going through. There's certain times like what happened at work, what happened here, what happened there, and just kind of being upfront and honest about it. But at the same time, there has to be a balance, because you don't want to be that dude that's just crying all the time about what your problems are. But if you can convey the message in a way to her that's like, you know, this is what's going on, and I'm going to get it handled. But I appreciate talking to you, and I thank you for listening. I think if it's that you build that type of connection with your woman, then I think it can definitely be a healthy dynamic for sure.
I say being transparent.
Yeah.
Like once you know who you are, it allows you to be more free within yourself, to be able to freely express how you feel, because regardless of how you express or what you express, you know you at the end of the day. And it does come to a point where, I mean, especially when you're dealing with a woman and you have a woman, that is necessary in order to build a connection with that individual, to be vulnerable, to be transparent through and through, so they can not just see this image of you, they can actually see you, you know.
So they want to see the core of us.
They want to see
The core of who you
They
are,
want to see a core of who we are, in essence.
because it's your world.
Yeah.
So now it's about, okay, since this is my world, and we were taught to be in long-lasting relationships. That's what we do. So we're very intentional when it comes to women, and making sure our foundation is straight and healthy, and the spiritual base is there. You know, the mental, physical base, every base is covered.
100%.
But I'm saying that to say that, like, when it comes to the woman, she wants to be a part of that magic. You know what I'm saying? So a part of that is you have to expose yourself a little bit. You know?
Man.
Because it's gonna be a risk either way.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be a risk either way, and that's on both sides.
My heart.
You know, but from a man's perspective, like, going that extra mile to show her that, you know, I'm not afraid to be transparent.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to be open and honest with you about what's going on in my world.
Yeah.
You know.
I definitely agree with open. Yeah, being open, that's what I was going to say as well. I think being open is a serious thing. I definitely think that welcoming her into your world, making her a part of your world, you know, making her feel as if she's valuable, or making her feel valuable because she is valuable. You know, I think that plays a serious role in us being vulnerable. And I definitely think, as I reflect on my relationships, I have been a bit distant, because I always believe at the end of the day, I always got me. And I can't really rely on nobody but me. These people can help and assist me, you know, but at times I'm gonna die alone. I came here alone, so I'm gonna die alone at the end of the day. You know, so I kind of always have that kind of mentality. But as I'm getting older, definitely when it comes to relationships, and I haven't been in many, but I can be more open, you know, definitely kind of make her a part of my world in a sense, you know, so I like that vulnerability.
And just to even add to that point, because I think that's an excellent point, when you start thinking about the true value of a woman, you see that she is a force multiplier. We were taught in the Nation of Islam as Muslims growing up that you give birth to a man, you give birth to an individual. You give birth to a woman, you give birth to a nation. Saying that to say that she's going to amplify everything you have going on. She's going to be one of the biggest supporters in your support system. So as one of the biggest supporters in your support system, like, who are you to not nurture that? Who are you to not pour into that? You know, because that's only going to serve to benefit the both of you guys as you do form that bond, that union, you know?
So with boys, I should say, because I want to take this to another point, we got the vulnerability aspect, but I have a question for us. When it comes to the challenges of being vulnerable, do you think that a lot of that has to do with the way that we were brought up, because we may not have experienced love in a way that a woman will love you? So I give example. Your parents can love you, and they love you in a certain kind of way. But being able to recognize love from a woman, how do we all know how to recognize that kind of love? That's a develop that I think that's something that we all have to kind of grow into as from a boy to a man, learning how to be able to recognize that love that a woman can be able to give you, and how are we comfortable receiving that love? You know, because it's one thing to just say like, hey, you know, babe, I love you. You know what I'm saying? But it's another thing for her to tell you like, I love you too, and she looks you in the eyes and tells you that I love you, and then as men, and we all know because we're very deep, especially when you really like a woman, when she tells you that, it's like that goes into the essence of who you are as an individual. It kind of just, it's like, man. So what do you think is a lesson, or not even what do you think is a lesson, but how do we even properly receive that? Because I think that's a serious lesson that we have to, that from transitioning from a boy to a man, I think that's something that we have to learn, because nobody really teaches you how to embrace the love of a woman.
Yeah.
You know, that comes from, it's a lesson that we have to learn. Because vulnerability, like you said, is one, but I think that's a serious one we got to learn. So what about that? What y'all think about that?
I mean, I think it kind of go back to the your foundation was laid as a young boy too at the same time. Because for me, not to just speak on me in general.
Yeah, of course.
But I know when I was in my first ever relationship, bro, like I felt love so genuinely from me and from her.
Yeah.
And I think it's because seeing how my mom, granted, I mean, there's 6 of us, bro, so she couldn't give that full 100% love to each every one of us because it's so many of us.
Yeah.
So I seen how she portrayed love to a degree to us. I automatically searched for that even while I was young in a woman, you feel me? And knowing certain qualities my father possessed, I automatically said, shit, I gotta possess this before I can attract whatever, you know, not saying he attract, but you know.
Yeah, I agree.
So I even think too, bro, the experiences that we even went through in life, like even after I broke up with the sister, even after we broke up, I think those experiences kind of shaped us negatively and had put a negative perception of love because we may have been hurt. You feel me?
I agree.
And at the same time, that really messed with us, bro, as men, because now and as humans in general, because now we got trauma, we got all this weight on us, and now we kind of got to get that off us. Therefore, we can even just be freely open to acceptance of love.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think it's really just diminishing that trauma, really going through them and going to war with yourself for real, bro.
Yeah.
Realizing why you can't accept love.
Yeah.
What part of you hindered you from being able to be freely open to accept love, and then just knowing what love looks like.
Yeah.
Because we think of love so feeling wise when it's actually duty.
Yeah.
Love is duty through my duty to my other individual that I'm with.
Yep.
Physically, mentally, financially, all of that. That's what love is. Not
I agree.
Not feeling this fucking in this moment. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Now you good, bro. But another thing that I would say, just to add to that point, because I feel like that's a great point.
That was an amazing point.
But love goes much deeper than just an infatuation and lust because somebody is super attractive to you. It's much deeper than that, and it is sacrifice and it is duty. But first and foremost, it's consistency. Love is not just something you do that day, and because you did so much for me. Like you did the biggest thing. You surprised me. I wasn't expecting it. And you really treated me nice. Like you showed me that, yeah, in that moment, I might feel a little bit of love. But then over time, it's like, okay, can you consistently keep doing that? And you don't have to keep doing it the same way. You can show love in different ways. It just depends on that person's love language. It just depends on how that person needs to be catered to. And when you really think about it, one thing that I grew up hearing, I'm not sure if y'all grew up hearing this, is that a lot of men want women who are similar to their mothers in terms of characteristics and qualities. And I didn't realize that too until one of my last relationships, where this woman was literally like studying me the same way my mother studied me. And that's how I knew, like, oh, that's what real love is. Love is stern. Love is about accountability, because it's not just a person gassing you up all the time. Like, nah, tell me about myself. Like, call me out. Cool. So I can work on myself, because I'm one of them people, like, I want you to call me out, you know, because I'm going to do the same thing for you. I don't want to see you struggling and you doing things and you have flaws and no one's pointing it out. No, I want to point it out so we can work on this together.
Yeah.
But I need to work on this for myself. So I thank you for showing me something that I didn't see or I didn't pay enough attention to, because maybe I was looking at it with rose-colored glasses. So when I think about it in that way, it's like, yeah, man, real love. No matter how the relationship ends, you know that a person really loves you and cares about you when they're doing things to help you become a better person. And that starts with honesty, you know?
I agree. And I think that goes into another point when it becomes to the lessons of being a boy to a man,
Yeah.
being 100% honest, and standing on our word. You know, your word is your bond. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. You know, because a lot of people, or I should say a lot of men per se, we have the ability to, well, everybody does. I mean, it's not just men, but since we're talking about men in this aspect, you know, we don't always tell the truth.
Nah, yeah.
You know, we don't always stand on our word, and a lot of that could be because of situations. Obviously, life happens, you know, and we've all had to learn that. We've all had a time where we didn't stand on what we said we was gonna do. We didn't stand on what it is that we said that. We didn't always stand on what we said we were gonna become. You know, I mean, or at that particular time. Sometimes it takes you knocking your head around a few times.
Yes.
You know, you got to go through that struggle. You got to go through that fire in order to understand that your word means something serious, because it doesn't necessarily, it's like they have the term now, or as we do when we do our Twitter spaces, what's that? People just talk. You're just talking.
Yeah.
No, you just running your mouth. You just running your mouth.
It sounds good.
Yeah,
it's word salad.
Yeah, it's word salad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's word salad. You just yapping. That's what they say. You just yapping or whatever. You know. But I definitely think that Let me stop saying I think. I know that when it comes to a man having your word and standing on what your word is, I think that's a pivotal aspect, and that's a pivotal lesson that I've personally learned developing from a boy and becoming a young man as I constantly strive to be a good man.
Shit, all you got is your word, bro. That's all you got. In this day and age, all you got is trust. We already know what's in line with trust just nowadays between people.
I agree.
But if you don't even just keep your word with yourself, you're gonna be imbalanced within yourself.
I agree.
Because you said you was gonna do something, and now you're not doing what you said you're gonna do. Now you feel me? That shit. I mean, that stuff is in your head, bro.
Yeah.
And now you gotta deal with that on a consistent basis. That's why anybody, your word must be your bond. Your bond must be your life. I should give my life. I should give my life before my word stuff.
Yeah.
That's the mindset we should have with anything, bro. With anything we say we gonna do from the smallest to the biggest, homie.
Absolutely.
We gotta interpret that. We gotta interpret that mindset and embody that. Like you said, like we said, bro. Shit, we only as strong as our word, homie.
Yeah.
But like you said, like, it's a people thing for sure, because those demons come in the form of excuses. So when you think about it in that way, it's like, okay, why am I not following through on my word? And most of the times, if you're honest about it, I'm procrastinating.
I ain't feel like doing it.
I feel like doing it.
I ain't feel like
or
doing it.
another thing is
Respectfully.
this, and I can personally attest to this: a fear of failure.
That too.
You feel like, you know, if you do something good enough to the point where it's like people start to notice it, now you got to up the ante. And are you going to succumb to the pressure, or are you going to overcome the pressure? And that start to play with your head too, you know? So just even that battle and getting across that hurdle, like, how do you do that? You know, and that comes with eating the elephant piece by piece.
Man.
You got to build that win. You got to practice.
Bro, I just thought about that as you said that point.
Yeah.
On another aspect of just becoming a man, or the lessons from a boy to a man. Conquering fear is a serious thing. And I'm not just saying fear of, everybody got their thing, the cliche things. Oh, I'm scared of spiders. Oh, I'm scared of dogs. Oh, I'm scared of tigers and lions and bears and all that stuff. But what about the fear of actually being successful? What if you actually make it? You know, because sometimes you get to this point, and I can say this personally, you know, I've taken tons of risk when it comes to a lot of things, you know, financially or you know, just in life, you know, in general, you know, that I don't really share with a whole bunch of people. I mean, y'all know quite a few of them, but you know, I've taken a lot of risks that, most people, they don't know about.
Big time.
But to constantly, the fear, most people, I should say, they stay in their comfort zone because it's comfortable. That's what they know. But to sit here and step out on something and you don't know if you're going to make it or not. And it's easy to sit here and say, because I've caught myself saying this. People can say, hey, oh man, with God, I can do anything. Yeah, 100%, you can. But the other aspect of that is you got to do the work. So how do you conquer that fear, or not even how to? I think a big aspect of, or that's not taught, is the fear of what if you actually make it? What if you take that first step and you start working and you don't know whether it's going to be a success or not. You don't know, but you in the darkness and you got to do it anyways. Overcoming fear, the fear, even taking back to our first point, the fear of being vulnerable. Think about what it is for us to sit here and talk about being vulnerable like that. Think about the things that we all been through. They each one of us on a personal level. But to sit here and go in depth and say like, hey, I can be vulnerable in this particular aspect. Think about the courage that takes. How did you get to that? You had to, because when we do that, when we do those things and we begin to say those things, there's always that thought of, what if this particular person takes it a different way? I can be, so we don't share because of the fear of the outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's another aspect, that I think we have to, take into consideration, the fear of what if things go right. The fear you feel before beginning to take an action before you take an action on something, I mean, what y'all think?
I mean, ain't about thinking of, I feel that 1,000%, bro, is real. And it's in similarity to like faith, right? Because all of it is the absence of the unknown.
Yeah.
You don't know how the outcome is going to come.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it really puts you in a headspace of why not challenge the fear and have faith to see what it may become.
Yeah.
That is so real, bro.
I agree.
Real that,
I'm telling you.
bro, almost everybody in this world has probably dealt with the fear of not even just not accomplishing nothing or accomplishing something. It's even the more so the fear of being less than, or I may not be enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we all go through these fears and these levels of, or these low levels of thinking to a degree, because we not connected really with who we are.
Yeah.
And that's the disconnect, bro, because now we live in our lives based upon environment, things that we've been through, this, that, and the third.
Yep.
And that don't really make up who we are.
I agree.
So now we going through this mind, damn, bro. He said I couldn't do this, so damn, I'm afraid to do this because somebody said I'm not good at this.
Planted the seed.
Yeah.
But when actuality, bro, they just we carrying on another mindset that we have been indoctrinated with. So it's really it goes back to rising above emotion into the thinking of God, into our higher self.
Yeah.
And it's hard, bro. And it's ain't none of it easy, but it's
Man,
meant to be hard because through trials purify.
Yeah.
Test it purifies us. We're meant to go through whatever we're going through. That's what we can become. The better version of ourselves. And that challenge of should I move out of faith? Should I move out of fear? That's the test right there. Because it's in you where they know you feel me.
Absolutely.
Man, talk about it.
And that fear is a pathway to insanity. It actually reminds me of a story that my dad used to tell me growing up. And he would talk about like this parking spot. And the car goes to the parking spot on the first day. And somebody steals the hubcap. And he says, if you go over there again, somebody's going to steal the hubcap. Don't go to that parking spot. The man goes to the parking spot on the second day. Again, you go over there again, somebody's going to steal the hubcap. The man does it again and again and again until he gets tired of it. And he goes to a different spot. But the whole thing is like, if you assess yourself and where you at in life, and that fear of failure, that fear of being successful, the fear of expectation, all those things that weigh down on you. The truth is that fear is going to keep you doing the same things over and over again because you're comfortable where you're at, because you're afraid to go to that next level.
Yeah.
You're not going to seek out that pain. You're not going to seek out that uncomfortability, right? That adversity. You're not going to fight through adversity. because you fear it. You don't know what that looks like. You don't know how to reprogram yourself and rise above emotion to the thinking of God, as you mentioned. So that's all a part of it.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
But that's another thing, bro, when it comes to another lesson. Man, you just said it. Dang, learning who you are as an individual.
Absolutely.
Because as a boy, you know, of course, you still out here developing. You know, you going out, you exploring different things. You know, you dealing with all your hormones and all that stuff. You don't know too much, man. You know, but when you get older, you definitely, I would say, you come into the knowledge of who you are because you've been through what you just said, adversity, that pain. You know, probably spending time alone by yourself. You know, without really anybody. Or just being comfortable with yourself, not necessarily spending time alone with yourself, but where you're shielded off from everybody, that is. But just learning to be comfortable with yourself. That's another thing. Because how many people are truly comfortable in themselves? How many people are comfortable with their own thoughts? Are you comfortable when you can sit here, no music, no sounds, just sit down without your cell phone and just think? What thoughts come to you? Are you afraid of that? Do you sit here and do you constantly get on your phone as a man, you know, and you keep scrolling or you keep looking at Instagram girls or whatever to distract yourself from your thoughts?
We all been
that's in your own mind. 1,000%. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, I wouldn't say that I did that as a way, but you catch yourself at times.
Yeah.
You know, you scrolling via social media, you doing whatever. But then when you put that phone down or something or let's say, no, yeah, you put that phone down, or let's say you get in a car and you don't listen and you don't turn on no music. The thoughts that come to your mind and everything like that. Are you comfortable with who you are, with the thoughts that come to your mind? Can you deal with it? Can you handle it? Can you not run away from the thoughts that you have coming inside your mind? Are you ashamed of the thoughts that come inside your mind? You know, and I think a big heavy hitter, or I know a big heavy hitter, and one lesson that I've learned of becoming a boy to a young man and striving to be a man, I should say, is being comfortable with myself, being comfortable in my own skin, you know, being comfortable even if you ain't got money like that. Are you still who you are without no money? Because it ain't the money that makes you as the man. It's the man that make the money.
Say that again, man.
Yeah, it ain't about the money. It ain't about how much money you got that determines the quality of man that you are.
Yes,
it's
sir.
about the quality of who you are. And you go out. That man goes out and he makes the money. You know? So I definitely think I gotta stop saying thing. I know that that's a huge aspect and that's a huge pivotal lesson, and that I've learned personally of striving to become a man. You know.
Real talk, bro. I be thinking just to build off what you said, man. Heavy on the not just knowing who we are, being comfortable with who we are. Because we talked about it before too, about the things that we've been through, right? And how well, I know me personally, I went through the struggle of trying to fit in, trying to be a part of the cool kids.
You ain't the only one, brother.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know, I had to not just go through that for a reason, bro. But going through that, it really not just allowed me to find myself, because while I was doing that, bro, I'm taking on these negative perceptions, thinking that that's all, this is who I am. If you know, I'm a person that just indulges in these negative habits or these habits, and that just fully make up me. When in actuality, that wasn't. I allowed whatever I was going through to shape me when that wasn't what I was supposed to do, you know?
Yep, 100%.
So I had to, I had to reprogram myself, really sit with myself in the car, in the moments of just silence.
Yeah.
Really see, bro, like, who are you for real? Are you somebody that just follows what everybody? Are you somebody that just being so, you feel me? Or do you really love yourself? Do you really care about yourself to do what's best for you? And that's
Yeah.
become that individual that you know you can become.
I agree.
It's crazy because all of it, we say it so much, bro, but it's really in us. It ain't on us, bro. We know who we are. We righteous by nature, homie.
Yeah.
It's all in the matter of just submitting to who we are.
You know what's crazy, fam? Comparison really is the thief of joy. As I reflect on what you're saying, it's like you trying to be the cool person. You trying to fit in with the crowd. It's like when you do that, it takes away from how unique you are as an individual.
Yeah.
And everything Allah put inside of you is uniquely for you and for me. I need to lean into what Allah created Asaad to be, not what He created anybody else to be, because that's them. That's not me. I'm not leaning into what makes me special. So you're literally taking out the joy that comes with being you, because you were created to be you, and you are the only you. So when I think about that, it's like, it's crazy, you know, how we get caught up in that. But that's part of being a man, discovering who you are as an individual, and being authentic, because I know who I am. I know whose I am. I'm heaven sent. I'm from God Himself.
Yep. I agree. Knowing your worth,
I
man.
need His approval. You know what I'm saying?
Actually,
I agree.
Everybody else, I could do away with all that.
See, and most folks, they'll never get to that point, especially as a boy when you're growing up. You'll never get to that point if you don't go through the struggle
Not at all.
of doing that. It's because you've done wrong that makes you know what's right, and that makes you appreciate what's right. You know, you can never. It's like you have to go through pain to enjoy beauty.
Yes.
You have to lose a girl in order to appreciate a good one when you have it. You know, or know how to recognize one, I should say. Because if you've never, because I would say this, because it's to a degree in our nature as human beings. It's not just men, but you take for granted people and things that are just readily given to you. It's not until you have those things taken away from you that you really begin to appreciate that. So I definitely will say another aspect of being a man is grateful. Is being appreciative of the things that you do have, being appreciative of life, being appreciative of the people that are around you, brotherhood, having a support network, having a high quality woman that's around you, you know, that is willing to, you know, take care of you, that is willing to help you out in your endeavors and all of these different things that you have going on. You know, humbleness, I would say, is another aspect, you know, and yeah, humility. Yeah. Because if you don't have these qualities, you know, it's easy for us as men to get into when we achieve things, it's easy for us to build the ego up, to think we're just that. You know, we're on top of the world because it's right for us to be on top. You know, it's the right way. It's in our nature. What did it say? God gave us, you know, we made man in His image, and we gave him power and dominion over all things. You know, so it's natural in us to have that ego, you know, or that superiority, to think that, you know, we're on top. But what happens is, and where the disconnect is they feel they have too much ego and not enough humbleness and gratefulness for the people around. It's easy when you have a woman that's, I should say, that lets you more so take the leadership role. And, you know, it's easy to get high off that power. Because it's when you have that power, when you have the power of a woman that let you lead, boy, if you're not careful and knowing how to maintain that, you'll get on that high horse, you know. And if you don't have the appreciation or the humbleness to be able to say, or to have that balance, I should say, to be able to, I gotta constantly keep myself in check.
Yeah. Because
the cliche saying is, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, so me personally, that's a lesson I had to learn too, of becoming a boy to a man.
I like that. So I did have a question that's been on my mind since we've been talking about whole boys to men thing, you know,
Okay,
going back down memory lane and all that.
Back down memory lane.
But now look, I'm thinking about the shift.
Okay.
All right, so when you're a boy,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't say I'm all the way a man yet. Still some things that I'm working on for
bro.
sure.
We're still
And
doing
it's a process for sure. Fact. But like,
talk about it.
when is that shift that you notice, like, I'm definitely growing, like I'm maturing, like I'm on the path to becoming a man? When is there any moment in your life where you can like recall, like, this is when I noticed that shift?
man, I say when I fully started taking responsibility of myself. Granted, I'm still going through certain things. Still young, still making mistakes, bumping my head. But when I fully start taking responsibility of my actions, everything from my bills to whatever, bro, when I realized that I gotta make it happen, that it gotta get done by any means necessary, that's when that shit in my head came, that I'm developing and I'm growing into the person that I would like to be. I like to be a man that's gonna get it done. That ain't gonna look for the next man. I'm gonna be the one that spearhead him and get it done. So I think once that clicked off in my head, that's when I knew I was on the journey of not just self-discovery, but discovering the man that I want to be in full, bro. So I think when I fully started, when I fully started taking responsibility of my life, man, what they say, what do the order number one, man? Take charge of this post, and all temple property. Temple property is everything that's around you, everything, you feel me, the people that's in your vicinity.
That's the one.
First start with you. You can't take care of nobody, you can't take care of yourself. It's gonna reflect.
Yep.
So, bro, once I internalized that, bro, once I fully understood that, I felt the shit. And I'm like, man, shit, man. But man, look, I gotta do it by any means necessary.
That's
I
beautiful.
100% agree. Dang, that was beautiful, man. I don't know how I'm gonna come back on that one, man. That brother gave it. Powerful. Well, I would definitely say the shift for me was, it was a few scenarios. There was I would say when I first hit 18, I would say definitely I started to think a lot more about, taking responsibility, for myself. Because that's one aspect. But where I fully just realized that, hey, nobody's coming to save you. I think it was about maybe a couple years ago. It just kind of hit me out the middle of nowhere. I think for me personally, it hits when you're constantly trying to be a better person, when you're striving to be upright and you're striving to be righteous, and even striving to become better in all aspects of life. Then that's kind of when it hits me that, hey, this is that. I realized that this was it. This is the transition right here. And I'm still realizing that now as we speak, because it's always, for me, it's not always necessarily a specific point, but it's a constant reminder that this is the case. Because now that I'm constantly being reminded about this, then it's constantly making me better. It's like there's no way to avoid it. Every single time I see some things. Let's say I see things that I would like to do, and I realize that at this point I'm not able to do that. That's a reminder. It lets me know I got to do something. I need to be better in this aspect. If I think of, hey, if I'm with my family and 3 men come attack me, can I defend my family with ease? Can I say that right? Can I say that I can do that? I can. I feel like I can, 1,000%, but can I do it with ease? Nah. That's something that I can be better at. Everything, when you start looking at, as you said, all temple property in view, everything around you, that was the set. If I want better, I have to do better. My life is a reflection of what it is that I've tolerated and what it is that I've accepted. So if I want different, then I have to be different. So it's the constant reminder. It doesn't matter what level I can have $1 million right now, and if I want better, then that's going to require a different me at the end of the day. So it's not a specific point. It's a constant reminder, because it depends on what level of life you're at and what level you're trying to achieve. The level you're trying to achieve requires a different version of you. So you have to constantly go to that. You have to constantly get to that different version of you. And so it's a constant reminder for me personally.
You gotta know where you are first. You gotta self-analyze.
I agree.
If you don't know where you are, how can you ever even get better, bro?
I agree. 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
That self-awareness is everything. I was thinking about the lecture from Minister Ishmael. It was a super powerful lecture, but one of the parts that immediately caught my attention and it really resonated with me when he started talking about that prayer, man, that opening prayer. And then the part where he says, surely I have been unjust to myself and I confess my faults.
Yep.
So grant me protection against all my faults. For none grants protection against faults but thee. I ain't talking about God, how God is the most merciful. No one is more merciful than God. But not only that, the sincerity and the intention that it takes to actually say those words and mean those words for yourself and your life. And you're speaking it about you, because you're reflecting on your sins. We sin every day. I know I make mistakes every day.
I agree.
But just the ability to try to correct my wrongs and really be intentional about I don't like the fact that I did this. I don't like who I am when I'm in that headspace. And I want to elevate my mental to the point where I don't have to be in that headspace anymore. So I really mean those words, and I'm vulnerable about where I'm at in life. you know, and I think around, well, this was like a little bit post-COVID, a little bit, but still in like the heat of COVID, 2022. That was when I first started getting into, really, I'm tripping, 2021, that was when I really started trying to get some motion about myself. And I felt like I was embarrassed because I was depending on a lot of people to do things for me, specifically my family. And, you know, certain friends as well. And I wanted to be more so a person that depended on myself and figure out, okay, how do I actually fund my dreams and what I want to do? Where does that start? That start by making some money.
Yep.
Going out there and getting it. So once I started working, you know, and I joined the working class, and I was like, okay, let me buckle down and let me do this. And I believe that money amplifies what you are. So it showed me what I was made of, and it showed me that I could do it. And once I got into that process of making money, losing money, spending money, budgeting money, like the whole nine, it was like, that really changed my whole perspective on how I view life. But it wasn't just about the money thing. It was about the conversation that my parents had and reading me my rights and all of that. Like just telling me about myself and breaking me down. Like, and constructive criticism. Like, and that's out of love. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, I felt that love was so overwhelming, man. I shed some tears, man. Because it's like, you're speaking to the core of who I am as a man. And you want me to be better. And at this point, I'm tired of being down. So I want to be up. So I'm going to do things now, and I'm going to take your wisdom and guidance that you've been giving me over the years, and I'm going to follow through. I'm going to see it through. So like ever since then, like life, of course, there's been like some bumps and bruises, as it always is, but I've been like on a higher level. Like I feel like I'm on a different playing field right now. And I feel like it's only up from here. But I feel like having those conversations with your loved ones, man, don't ever be to the point. I would tell young brothers this, and sisters too, but particularly we talk about the men, my brothers. Don't ever feel like you can't be vulnerable with the people that you love and the people that love you, the people that care about you. Like, I know like sometimes the delivery might not always be on point, but they really mean well. People really mean well. You don't want to be around a yes man, a yes woman. You don't want to do that. Be around somebody that be like, no, you do this. I noticed this about you. I think this is something that you should look into so you won't have that issue anymore. That's super important. So not even to ramble, but I just wanted to drive that point home for real.
What's that saying? 100% dissatisfaction will bring about 100% change.
Man.
And for you even to have humility, because bro, that's one thing that we as men struggle with, our egos and everything.
Yep.
We think it's boosted. But for us to have humility to actually listen to what somebody else got to say about us and actually turn around that and try to fix that part of us, that's really a necessary quality that we should have as men in order for us to be better, to become better.
I
We
agree.
really got to listen to the ones that surround us. And
I
we
agree.
can't have, like you said, no yes men around us that just okaying all our negative behavior.
Yep.
Because you really ain't my friend if you keep acting like that.
And even how to go find about these, and even how to go about finding these people, is to be a good person, be the friend you want to have, be the friend that you want to see. You know, so I have solid people around me. You know, I have brother Asaad, and my man Ishmael over
My
here.
brothers, man.
Yeah, I have these friends around me because I'm a good friend. I'm a good friend to everybody that I'm around. You know, so if there's any issue, people can have a conversation. I'm not too arrogant for people to come and tell me, hey, Rafi, I think this is something that you could have done better at. Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, okay. All right, then got you 100%, you know. And I pretty much already know that they have my best interest at hand, so I'm not going to get mad at anything it is that they have to say, because that's just not in my heart. And I would also definitely say that the quality of your heart as a male says a lot about you as a male. What are your intentions? Because you can have all of these accolades, such as money and everything. You can have all the riches. You can have all the women if you so desire, because of your money and because of your riches. But you can still be a piece of crap. You know, if your heart is not in the right place, you'll never really have solid people around you. So you have to analyze and self-reflect, just as you were saying.
You attract
what's
what you
in your
are.
heart. Yeah, you attract what you
Yeah.
are. What's in your heart? What's in your chest, man? What's in your mind? What are you calling to you? You know, because if you have a negative and ill-intended heart, then you're not going to attract the quality people that you need to attract to become a better person. You know?
Wonder why you in the conditions.
Exactly. And you wondering why. You know, you sitting over here filling your void with a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, whatever, and you don't got good quality people around you because you're not a good person yourself. And your heart is not in the right place. And if your heart is in the right place, then you'll begin to see your life change. You know? So, man.
That's powerful.
Man, right? I can't believe
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, you know, we can go on and on with this topic for hours. You know how we do.
Man, what?
But do y'all have any like closing thoughts? Any final thoughts on this?
Do you?
Just be all you can be, man. Regardless of the struggle, regardless of whatever we go through as people, as brothers, as men. Just try to rise above emotions. Just be all you can be in any situation. That's all I would tell the youngsters out there. Know who you are. Identify who you are. Search for who you are.
Heavy on that.
Yeah.
The knowledge of God is equal to the knowledge of self and the knowledge of tongue. First find the knowledge of God, then you'll find yourself. Respect it.
Man, I like that, brother. I would definitely say listen to people who have what you want. Listen to the men that came before you, you know, because they've been through it already, you know. And I would suggest obviously find the proper mentors. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I'm not gonna about that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I would say find proper mentors and find quality mentors, quality people that can give you guidance. You know, because we don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. There are people I listen to that are 10 times smarter than me. You know, there's no way you can have all the answers, because if you don't get feedback from other people, then you'll never see the outside of yourself. You'll never be able to see that. You're only looking from the inside out. You're not looking from the outside in. You don't necessarily know what you're giving off.
Yeah.
You know, so you need good quality people to learn to go through those and kind of help you. Mentors, I say high quality mentors definitely is something that I would advocate for and that I would leave you with as a male.
I would say to all the young brothers watching, all the people watching, is understand that as you grow up in life, in your adolescence, you're going to be depending on a lot of people. Your parents are going to be taking care of you. Your friends are going to be taking care of you in certain ways. A lot of people are going to validate you. But as you get ready to transition out of that nest and into adulthood, you're going to have to depend on yourself. So it switches from depending on people to depending on you. And the thing about depending on yourself is you have to get to know you. You have to have conversations with you. You have to pour into you. You have to understand who God is and why he made you who he made you to be. And you really have to lean into that, and you have to embrace that, and you have to walk as if you understand that and you know that, and people see it on you when they look at you. He's different. She's different. Because you're getting to know self. You understand the knowledge of God and who you are, and that is a beautiful thing. You shouldn't want to be anybody else, because there's something special about being who you are as a person.
Yep.
And with that being said, we hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Oh, go ahead. Leave one more thing.
Go ahead.
Treat people as you want to be treated, man.
Yep.
I would definitely say that, because it's I know I would actually argue out of all the points that I've said that that's one of the most important.
Yeah.
Because not contrary to what you said, because what God is and all that, that's heavy. But treat people the way that you want to be treated, because your treatment of people goes a long way. I mean, you don't even have to have much, but people will always remember a kind soul. People will always remember what you've done for them, and people will always remember how you treated them. Don't treat people differently because you may not look at them the same way that you look at others. Don't treat people less than because you think you have more than what somebody else has. Always, especially as a male, you can have long-lasting relationships, not just with women, but just with people, successful people, by the way that you treat them, man. Treat your siblings, man, treat your family, treat your grandma, treat janitors, treat servers when you go out to eat. How you treat people says a lot about you, and that is one thing, especially as men, I judge highly I judge men that treat people that are doing, I should say, jobs such as serving or janitors or these jobs that aren't, or I would say in society that's deemed as less than jobs, but they're really important jobs. I should say, I judge men if you treat those people poorly, you know, because you don't know what people go through. But always showing kind and courtesy, showing grace, and showing that you appreciate the janitor or somebody like a server as you would appreciate a damn CEO. You know, they ain't no different just because they got a little cheddar in their pocket. You know, they're still people at the end of the day. So always treat people the way that you want to be treated. You know.
And think 5 times before you speak and before you act, because you don't never know how the other person going to internalize what you feel.
Heavy on that.
I agree.
Be a critical thinker. With that being said, we hope y'all enjoyed the second episode of the Fruit of Life podcast, going back down memory lane.
And there we are.
Peace out.
Peace.